Hello. Just showing how I'm doing this Janet Jackson edit. I want to continue to show how my progress on Photoshop is, continue to be more proficient in graphic design and editing. So here we go. So I'm just going to open Photoshop, making sure to go to 17 by 11 and starting off with a blank canvas. And I chose a lot of, well, not a lot, but some really nice Janet photos that I thought were pretty cool. Many from her photo shoots, many from her performances. A lot of amazing, talented photographers have taken these photos, and these photos have been generating around the internet and around the world. So just go on Google and find them. So I'm just trying to figure out the best size for the name, because while I'm figuring out the font size for the name, I'm also thinking of how the photos are going to look within each letter. So for example, this photo of a really fun photo of Janet, I think pretty recent too. I'm just trying to figure out how I want this photo to look in her name. As far as anything, I want to be able to edit it, clean it up as best as I can without making it look weird. I'm still a newbie at these things, so I'm just trying to really make it look good. So I'm just getting all the excess out the way and just putting it into her name, the A letter. In these situations, when it comes to blending your images with your words, I'm still learning, but I do understand that it really depends on color, because color is very important. Depends on, the lighting and the color and the way that Photoshop is set up. You can definitely play around with the blending, because sometimes, depending on the lighting and the color of your image or your words or whatever you're blending anyway, in my situation, the images and the words, you realize that sometimes when an image is too bright or too dark, or when the wording color is too bright or too dark, it doesn't really blend as well. But when you can adjust the lighting and, if possible, change the color, or if it's fine, leave it alone. But you can definitely play around with these things and just figure out what looks the best. So that's what I'm doing here. And I found this really, really amazing photo of her performing her song If. Pretty dope, in the 90s. Love the top. Absolutely. Janet is a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful woman. And I really do, seriously admire her beauty in the 90s. Not saying she was never beautiful any other time, but it's that Velvet Rope era. Oh my gosh, absolutely insanely amazing. So now I'm just trying to figure out how I want this young Janet photo to look. Absolutely stunning. The eyes, the smile, everything. 10 out of 10, And I'm just going through all the photos that I've downloaded from Google and just putting them in the letters, just figuring out their positions, what looks best. And this one, before I was doing all the recording and editing, I was really trying to figure out what picture would definitely go great in the J letter of her name, of her first name. So I just chose that one. I love Poetic Justice. It's one of my favorite movies of all time. And I've seen that movie about 200, 500 times. Of course, I'm exaggerating, but I've definitely seen it a lot. I wanted to get, we'll try to get all of her era in life, from young photos all the way up to recently, you know. Of course, that is a lot of photos. If you really wanted to try and edit that into her name, that would be a big project. But, you know, with the right amount of effort and vision, it could get done. The Miss You Much era. Beautiful, beautiful. I realize that I skipped the C, but that's okay. And for organization, you know, each picture that I download has to have a name to it, so I can immediately know which layer that photo is. That one's another recent one as well, although I've never been to any of her concerts, you know, but I love her music. The Control era, don't we love it? I definitely wanted to make this one fun because I wanted to see how maybe it would look better if I put one eye in the S and the other part of her face out. The 90s era, don't we love it? I think this is one of the most beautiful photos of Janet anyway. And last but not least, we have the era, not the era, but her when she was doing a performance and she was performing Scream with her brother Michael and doing a nice tribute for her brother. I definitely wanted to put this photo in only because it makes sense, you know. Just the position of her in the photo, it works. Once again, just getting some organization out the way. And boom, we're done. Just kidding. So now I'm just going through and I'm starting to crop the photos so they can fit each letter. Like this one, the billboard photo of her. I felt this was a nice placement, enough so to where you can see her face and anything that's, you know, on her as much without making it look too much of a try hard in a way. And just cropping out. Eventually I'll go back to each letter once I'm done cropping all the photos and just cleaning up, making it look as clean and nice as possible. I do realize for the N in her first name with this if photo, I definitely made it a little awkward with the cropping of her hair, but you know, you just gotta make it work the best that you can, you know. For this E one, I realized while I was going back and looking at the video that I cropped awkwardly because the blending of the photo and the light purple with the white light of the natural photo is definitely blending in with the white background of the entire project. So I definitely could not really see how I was cropping it, but it's okay, you know. You go back and you get to clean up, so it's cool. I'm just finishing up on her first name, just cropping as much as I can without doing too much. I just want it to fit into the letter only. I decided to start backwards on her last name just cause. No special reason. So that's the N. And now I'm gonna go to the O and just start cropping out all the excess parts of the photo that I don't want to use in the letter. And here I am. I realized that I did not erase enough of the N image. It is amazing what people can do with hair and makeup. Just, if you see her hair in this photo, it's absolutely amazing. It's so eccentric and it's a statement. And that's what makes it different. That's what makes it really cool, you know? Now, moving on to the Miss You Much photo. It's getting a little confused on how I wanted to do this cropping part of the K, but I figured it out. You gotta do what you gotta do sometimes, you know? And I'll just keep going, doing this for the last few letters of her last name. I'm just gonna keep cropping it out. And I think this photo is really cool. I think this is a really nice picture of her. Just seeing her Just seeing her on the stage versus the screen behind her, it's pretty dope. And get the A back, the picture for A back. And I want to say this is in the late 80s. I'm just gonna go off of that and say yeah. Poetic Justice. I would say this one was a little tricky, just trying to find the placement, how big or small the photo should be. For the letter J, I wanted to try and get the side profile of her face and also a little bit more of her earring, because what I had for the vision I had for the project, I definitely wanted to highlight the jewelry in whatever picture she's wearing it in for these photos. Get that last cropping out the way. And boom, we're done. Okay, no, we're not. And now I am using a moon brush tool that I downloaded from Brush Easy. And I'm just kind of using this for the J. I'm not going to use this for every other letter of the name because it just kind of helps with erasing and cleaning up. You know, I'm going to get better at cleaning up when it comes to cropping out photos and doing stuff like this, because when you have to go back and try and clean up the photo as much as you can, it can be a little tedious and a little trying, because those little kinks and those little corners, it could take a second, at least for me, to try and clean up, because I'm trying to clean up as much of the photo as I can without actually getting into the letter and making it look awkward. A little tedious task. Gotta try and make it look as good as possible. And now we're gonna move on to the fun part. I wanted to do everything purple because that's my favorite color. So I want to make the background purple, but make it a nice shade of purple where you can still see the images and the letters pretty well. So I realized in one of the letters, the E, that I, like I said before, awkwardly cropped. So I'm just gonna go back through and fill it in so it can fill up the letter and look good. And I'm just kind of going off of playing around, because although I've seen what content aware fill can do, I realize that I don't know too much, but I'm just kind of going off of figuring it out, you know. So I got it filled and it looks more normal. So now we're gonna get to the fun part, which I love doing the letter style effects. and I think it's really, really cool. So I want to make it look glowy. I want to make it look not 3D, but the vision that I had for her name is to highlight the letters. And I don't really know the style of the description of the words that I'm trying to say for the style, but I definitely wanted to make it look highlighted and kind of not jump out at you, but you'll notice the highlights. And I'm doing the same thing for her last name, for Jackson. But I realize also that the images are kind of fading behind all of this. So I want to try and find another blending option so the pictures can still be presented well. I'm just trying to find that new blending option, seeing what really works, what brings out the photos more. I was going between overlay and soft light because I see that both of them, I like the way both of them look, but soft light looks better because it really does bring out all of the pictures, and that's what I wanted. And even though you might not really notice, but there is still a purple tint to all the photos, because naturally the color and the lighting of the photos before I edited them didn't look like this. And I'm still doing that content aware fill because I did kind of awkwardly crop the image, so I'm just filling that in again. And once again, just learning, just going around, going off of what I've learned on YouTube, and also just playing around, realizing that I kind of have a little knowledge of what some of these tools can do. And so now I'm just putting them to use and seeing how I do it. Now I'm just going through, seeing what I can do, maybe changing some of the images and lighting. I realize when I'm editing photos in Photoshop, I like noise. I like the noise filter because I like the way things look grained. It has this grainy television look to it. And while it's not for everything, I really wanted to put it for this project because that's the vision I had for it. And as I'm actually going through all of these photos, I'm trying to figure out how to put the filter on all of them all at once. Once again, just still trying to figure it out. And, you know, reading, once you right click on the options, you know, like filter, it'll tell you on the right side of each description how you can apply anything just by pressing a couple of buttons on your keyboard. And that's what I'm doing. I'm just doing Alt-Control-F to apply the filter. And here's the fun part. I'm using a soft brush with white to really highlight certain parts of the photos of her. Like this one with all the shimmering, all the glitter and gold. I really just want to highlight that, bring it out a little bit. And I saw some of the light that naturally reflected in the photo off her hair that I wanted to make really pop in the edit. I'm doing the same thing for the If photo. Same thing here, her young photo. And I really like how her nails are popping in this photo, so I wanted to highlight that. And I I was trying with the tea to really do my own thing. I guess it worked out in a way. I really liked doing this K photo edit because of the chair. I wanted to really highlight that, and just playing off of the naturalness of the photo, just playing off of the shadows and the color and the lighting. Definitely have to highlight the jewelry. And also just figuring out how I can just go at sleight of hand, figuring out what looks really good for the photo. And here we are. This is my finished product. Hope you guys enjoyed.